morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Gumbo Talk Thursday, and we're here to open your mind. We are living the good life right here on WBOK 1230 AM. We are opening minds to living differently in the world with love, compassion, tolerance, and understanding for ourselves and hopefully everybody else. We do that weekdays right here at 11 a.m. Make sure you tune in for Marketplace Monday, Relationship Tuesday, Wellness Wednesday, Gumbo Talk Thursday, and Free Spirit Friday. We are opening your minds to living differently in the world, and make sure you follow us on all of our social media platforms. That is at TGL Radio Show. At TGL Radio Show, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And you never have to miss a show. Why? Because we are now on YouTube and Spreaker. YouTube and Spreaker. You never have to miss it ever again. So if you are a YouTuber, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is The Good Life Radio Show Eileen Carter. The Good Life Radio Show Eileen Carter. You kind of have to put Eileen Carter in. Because there's just so much good life. Everybody wants to be a part of it.
There's buku of life.
Right? There is buku of life. And I am here with my favorite... I can't say that. Well, since they're not here, I can say that.
That's so you can say it again this week.
I can say it again this week. They are off.
Yeah.
They're still there, right?
Yeah, they'll be back tomorrow.
They'll be back tomorrow. They are in, if you don't know what we're talking about, our co-hosts, Terry and Rachel, are in Israel. They are bringing in the Easter season, or at least the beginning of it, in Israel. They had a great trip, and they're going to be able to talk about it next week with us. So I'm really excited about that, to hear all of their adventures without us.
So you know they're probably going to be darker. So
I know
they're talking about tanning.
I will be the only one.
Exactly. So you may want to step up your game, Eileen.
Y'all. Q, I see you watching on Facebook Live. If you want to see what's going on in the studio, make sure you follow us on Facebook Live.
And if Rachel comes
and look
back
at you with all that color.
I know. And if
Rachel can't possibly.
Oh my God! If she does, you're dead. You're like, what is wrong with you?
This is a problem. Okay, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it.
Step up your game.
We have a very special guest today. We have Mr. John Slade in the studio with us. We are discussing individualism this week, so I thought he'd be a great... y'all have got to stay tuned for this next segment. He's going to be with us for the entire show, but we have a special segment just for him in our second segment. It will be the individualism that went on during the 70s and how everyone was kind of open. Right, John? Everyone became...
Yes,
open.
Everybody was open.
We're going to leave it like that.
Very, very open.
Very, very open. We'll leave it as that. But we're going to get into some hot topics that are going on in the city and around the country and kind of like what's going on. Some of these are hot topics, some of these aren't. Well, first of all, I want to, you know about the Easter egg roll in Washington, D.C. It's been since 1878 the Easter roll has taken place at the White House.
I read it about this morning.
You did?
I sure did.
What do you think?
I was like, what? They got no plans, no nothing. They're going to mess up the tradition.
Well, they are throwing it together,
Throwing it together.
They are throwing it together. And so they
when
said...
is Easter Sunday?
Yeah.
So
I don't even know when the Easter egg roll is. It might be today. It might be tomorrow.
And I think they're expecting less this year.
Yeah, less people this year.
Exactly.
Well, they're saying this is how they're going to recreate the commentary. Is that they said there's so many children they're not able to do everything, so therefore they wanted to have less children this year. But as of 2 days ago, the D.C. area schools, who usually get 4,000 tickets, had not even been given tickets. So I'm sure that's changed by now, but as of 2 days ago, that was the case. And they give away, we had the honor of going a couple years ago. I wanted to go when, Obama was president for my son. And we had the honor of going, and you get these little wooden eggs. It's been a tradition all these years to get these little wooden eggs, and it's inscribed as to, what year, Easter egg roll, blah, 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 blah. So they had not even reached out to the company, and the company had been trying to contact them. And so I think they were able, as of, I think this was a couple days ago, but they were able to get in a rush order that they're actually going to have a couple of them, but they're not going to have, enough to fulfill the full amount.
So Melania's
first
fault.
Come, first serve.
Melania's fault.
Yeah, because
she didn't want to be first lady.
Is
she didn't expect to win.
Very obvious. I mean,
she'd like to be first centerfold, but not first lady.
Well, exactly. It's.
She didn't do anything.
It's a full-time job, but
she's living in New York. She doesn't even want to stay at the White House. I guess it's beneath her.
It's
this public housing, after all.
And here's my thing, John. Even if you aren't able to be there and you're not giving it your, whatever, hire somebody for that position to take over those events. You know what I'm saying?
We're cutting the budget. Only now is he loosening up on federal
Cutting the
hiring
budget.
because he
Cutting
didn't
the
want.
budget.
Yes, that's what he read. We're going to cut. We have
We're
a
cutting
skinny
the budget so he can travel to Mar-a-Lago.
Oh yes, in fact,
Right?
it's estimated that maybe if that guy
And take
gets
off.
4 years,
Exactly.
if he gets maybe 8 years, God forbid,
Oh, Lord have mercy.
it might be $1 billion
Don't say
we
8.
spent to fly him around to go play golf.
Mm-hmm.
You know, does he play
And
well? We
protect
don't
his
even get any.
front power.
We don't even
What's
get
his
any.
handicap?
We don't
And
even get
his
any
power.
reports on how well does he play. Is he very
Ah.
good? Is he mediocre? How big a handicap does he have?
You know
Is
what?
he
Great
stuck in a
questions.
sand trap?
Right. Yeah. Well, speaking of him flying everywhere, what do you think about the United flight where the passenger was dragged
Oh, my
off?
God. That.
Dragged off due to, it being overbooking, and now that there's no overbooking per them. So
Yeah, that was horrible.
it was probably one of the most horrific, not one of the horrific, but
Like, they
As a
literally
person?
dragged that man out of his seat.
literally. And when they pulled him out, he hit his head,
Well,
bleeding from,
Mhm.
and I know you technically have no rights, but like still. When you sign over, when you
see, I
agree
want to know
make a
why
ticket.
didn't they bribe him? Where was the bribe?
Well,
Usually-
they said nobody, nobody took
No.
the amounts that they
No,
were offering. They should
They
have
had
offered more.
to, that's right. You offer more. I mean,
Right.
I want two round trip first class tickets,
Mhm.
domestic, wherever
Plus
I want to
one.
go. Plus, I want
Right.
$500 cash, and 2, you're gonna put me in the fancy hotel in the middle of town.
Sounds
And
like
that's what
John
you're
has
gonna
done
do.
this before.
Yeah, like John, I'm taking you when I go negotiate. I'm taking you when I go
And you're
negotiate.
still getting me home on the first thing smoking after breakfast tomorrow.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I really don't want to bring this up.
Yes.
With the good life, I think, love, tolerance, compassion, understanding. So I'm going to touch on it, but I don't really want to. But I hate when there's an incident, no matter what the situation is, they like to bring up somebody's past. I don't care what he did in his past. That has nothing to do with you
Exactly. Oh, I didn't know
forcibly
they brought it
removing
up.
this man from an air flight that he paid just like everybody else did. That
Correct.
has nothing to do with the sky being blue. Absolutely nothing.
I don't know. I don't understand. That happens all the time. And I think that was one of the newspapers, the Courier Journal in Louisville.
Mhm.
And I just have to ask, how much United full page ads are you getting?
Right.
That's a
Exactly.
question. We never investigate the press.
Right.
But no, we're going to talk. That has nothing to do with anything. You didn't know who he was.
Exactly.
So that
Exactly.
has nothing to
I
do
didn't
with
know
anything.
that.
Nothing to do with the fact. But I'm like, they researched your
They-
background. But I'm like, this man was a private citizen. He didn't ask for all of this.
Correct.
He asked for none of this. And now his name is nationally known, probably internationally known.
Mhm.
And there's all this, hoopla. That's just, I'm like, it's none of your business. And the fact that we go do this to people is really a shame. It really is. No matter what it is. I mean, this could have been you.
I'm just blown that people actually did it. I'm
Right.
really, really blown. I'm like, what?
Mhm.
Like, there's actually a human being that went on the airplane and grabbed another human being. off
drag
of
them
the-
off.
Well, that's because they had 4 United guys, employees, crew members that had to get to Louisville. Well, you knew that. You didn't know that was
Right.
going. You could have stopped it when it was 4 seats left on the plane and told
Correct.
everybody
Exactly.
else.
Exactly.
And that's not. My problem is, the company made its problem the people's problem.
Yes.
Okay, I
Yes.
don't care. You're in business.
Mhm.
I come first. Sorry, we can't throw out our paying customers.
Exactly.
Call the president's private plane to fly these jokers
Exactly.
to, or put them
I'll
on.
put him on Southwest.
Wait,
But yeah,
wait,
exactly.
Wait, but here's the thing.
Don't you guys have friendly
That's-
relations
yeah,
with each other?
exactly.
Look, I need to
We're-
get my people here. Can you help us
It
out?
was a short flight, right? From
I think-
wherever they were going, it's like, the drive
I
wouldn't have been no
think
more
it
than
was
like 2
Chicago
or 3
to
hours to Louisville, right?
Louisville.
So the drive
Kentucky.
wasn't
Put them
that
in a
long.
car.
That was my point. Put them in a car.
Rent them a car.
Rent them a car and let your paying
do a road trip too.
customers.
Yeah.
Exactly. That was my thought. I'm like, you have to have some type of agreements with the rental car agency. So
Yeah,
why
but
would
what about
you, you know,
agreement with other? We have
Other
with airlines.
or
we
a
have
carrier?
jam,
Yeah,
right?
but I'm saying there are
We're
other
in a
options
jam.
than taking away your
Exactly.
paying customers to put your
Exactly.
employees.
And you should have a-
Especially forcibly.
Man, whoever made that decision.
Bad decision. But then look how he tried to clean it up. And then he sent the inner office memo, which was basically, telling them that they did a good job and they
Yeah,
they
Oscar
handled it correctly.
Munez.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. And he tried
Their
to
CEO.
And wait, at first he said, well, y'all did the right thing throwing him off.
right.
That's great. My
Yes.
people threw him off. Wonderful people throwing him off.
Girl.
My people are the best
Wait.
throwing it off people in the world.
And is it true or false that even the president is supporting United Way action. I think I read.
You
it
mean
somewhere.
United Airlines, not
United, yeah,
Way, not United Way.
I'm sorry, yeah, correction. United Airlines.
Uh-huh. Oh, Trump?
Yeah, yeah.
Of course, it's corporate.
I was like,
Yes.
seriously?
Yes.
Are you really shocked about that?
I know I'm not.
Are you
I'm
really
just
shocked?
like continue to be just comments that I don't even follow him at all. So
I'm not even shocked anymore. I'm really not. And well, this is what I am kind of shocked about right now.
Mm-hmm.
Bannon's role and how it is getting kind of he's getting played as, you know, he plays such an inconsequential, you know, role in the White House. But when he went in there guns blazing, and now, you know, they're trying to like roll that
First
situation
impressions.
back.
The guy dressed like a bum.
He does dress
In
like
the
a bum.
white- and then when he gets the suit on, it looks like he borrowed it from his uncle. Not tailored.
You are hitting on all cylinders,
not.
John.
He looks, and he doesn't. When shave, man, shave. You look horrible.
You look
That.
scrungy. He does.
He
Like to be
does.
representing us in the
I mean, my goodness.
White House.
I'm telling you, you know, I mean, that's raggedy.
But like all of the
But-
things he said with regarding, you know, to his white, they say it's, you know, alternative. It's a white national, you know, point of view.
White supremacists.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
See, you said it even better than I did.
We should run everything. You black people should just serve us drinks.
There you
That's
go.
pretty much it. Yeah.
That's kind of
You know, that's all.
kind of how it's been.
Hustle
it's
for
been running.
tips.
But you know what? Obviously, I will say this: he has obviously been listening to him all of this time, and nothing has been going his way. And you know he can't stay in bad publicity for too long.
Well, here's a problem. Jared, Ivanka, and they're running the business. The kids are running the business. The brand is failing. Oh, you with that Nazi? I don't know if I want to have a contract with you.
Right.
That sort of thing. Ivanka's stuff is being thrown out of stores, so it's beginning to hurt business. It's the only way you can talk to Trump is hurt business.
It hurt the bottom line.
If we could convince President Trump being nice to Negroes would make you more money than you can shake a stick at, you got to talk to him where he is. He's
Right.
only interested in money.
Green.
You're arguing with King Midas. You know,
Well, they
maybe
sure had no clothes.
maybe if there was a way to do that, to actually convince him it's worth his while monetarily, because you know you're taking a huge pay cut with the presidency, and secondly, you said you were not going to take a salary. Now you're taking a salary, and you're going to give it to charity. But the idea was you were not going to take a salary. We didn't have to cut a check.
Right.
That part of the deal.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, you know.
Right.
So now we're cutting you a check.
And you're giving it to charity. I'm like, you are rolling back the regulations in the environment, and then you're giving them money for the environment. I'm like, but it's not even like for the national forestry.
Oh, natural.
But I'm like,
But, he's
but I'm
cutting
like,
their
it's not
budget.
even-
But here,
right,
have
yeah.
this chump change. You know.
exactly.
I'm
I'm
a
like, I'm
good
going to roll
guy.
it back these millions, but you take this $7,400. I mean, $1,000. I'm like,
No.
but speaking of something else that has been
Yeah.
banned, this is making headlines, and this is very interesting. Did you know in Taiwan now? I wanted to go out on this. It has been banned to eat cats and dogs.
Oh,
It's silent.
That was the
in here.
thing they did. in
Look at
most
John.
countries-
John's like, yeah, that was just
Those
what
are
they did. It
It's a
came out.
delicacy.
And
It came out.
so-
What? Really? It came out in the news
Yes.
yesterday
Mhm.
that it is now banned to eat cats and dogs in Taiwan or any parts thereof.
yeah.
Yes, but
It's a
those-
delicacy?
Yes,
Yeah,
that was food.
we
That was
just,
a dinner.
Asian cultures view it as a delicacy.
Really?
Yes.
But you know what's funny? I actually, no, well, it's not funny. I had seen kind of a little documentary on it, and I heard that but you know what? It's opening your mind and living differently in the world, because things that we eat here, they may not eat there, and they think, you know, that what we eat is nasty.
Correct.
So, you know, it's really opening your mind to different cultures, but it is something that is now, I guess, law there.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm
Look, I
that's
news
all I'm
to
saying.
you.
Wow.
News to you this morning. So,
Yeah.
John,
Probably a lot of
No more of that.
Westerners are living there now because you know you have globalism.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
it's becoming a thing. So they want to be careful. For instance, China's trying to get into solar energy and renewables because they're realizing people don't want to live in Beijing because of the horrible smog.
imagine that.
Yeah, so
They don't want to die.
exactly. So,
They don't want to die for breathing.
but it's hard to get foreigners to move in, and you're supposedly one of the biggest global cities and centers of
Right.
the earth.
Well, speaking of foreign environments,
Yes.
We're going to get into that after the break. We're going to take a quick break. We are here on Gumbo Talk Thursday. We have a very special guest in the studio. We have John Slade. He hosts Up to Date every day at 12. He comes right after me. So right after this show, you get another dose of John, y'all. Another dose of John.
Can you handle it?
But we had a very interesting conversation about the 70s and how that brought out each and every one of our personal individual expressions. So we'll get into that conversation when we get back. You do not want to miss it. This is a good life, y'all. Gumbo Talk Thursday. We'll be right back. Good morning, y'all. How you doing? Good morning, Tracy. How are you? Hey, Larry. Talia. Kim. Cindy. Q. Uh-oh. My mom is watching this morning. What's up, Gigi? Good morning. How are you? We're going to have a very interesting conversation on individual expression soon. We've been discussing individualism this week with regard to community. We had a very an entrepreneur on for Marketplace Monday. We had Tasty Treat. They are located at 3717 Tulane. If you're interested in like wings, hamburgers, fries, go there. They don't just do them regular. Like they have like crawfish fries, and they do this famous broccoli. I had broccoli with cheese and crawfish. Like they put anything that you can imagine to put together that they offer on the menu, they'll put it together and make something for you. So you can basically make your own food.
What?
Girl.
Tasty
treat.
Yes.
It was a food truck, and she moved into her own building, so she's been there for 2 months.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So we went and ate right after the show. It was ridiculously delicious, probably a little bit too good. And then what do we do on Relationship Tuesday? Being individualist, and when you're kind of growing into your own and being who you are, and like the stages in life, and how when you are developing, if you are unable to do that, or if you have too much expression, or if you are too controlled, how it can affect your life and your relationships throughout your life. And how children, especially when they're going through their teenage years, that's when they're trying to find their own level of individualism. And so we really want to be understanding, but obviously give them realistic responsibilities, or age appropriate responsibilities, and kind of let them go. And you don't want to like just throw them off, but you kind of have to let them go at their own level, because then when you want them to leave, they won't, because they don't know how. So you have to give it to them in baby steps so they can be their own individual. And then what we talked about yesterday, we had Wellness Wednesday. We were talking about when you used to be in school, like we had dodgeball. There is no more dodgeball, y'all, in schools, because you can't hit each other. And there's also, they didn't want anybody to be individually pointed out. So there's no more games where you get to choose teams.
There's no more recess.
Exactly. We were talking about that too. There's no more recess. So, our individual bodies and taking care of them, and how, you really need to get that exercise. I actually went to the doctor yesterday. And, I thought I was doing my 3 to 4 times a week, and I was doing good. She was like, if you want to lose weight, you have to do 5 days a week for 60 minutes or more to have weight loss, or it's not happening. I was like, I've been doing all of this in vain. Bye. He's leaving us, y'all. Oh, there he is. Oh, he's gone. And then we had a special guest yesterday. We had Rob Nice. He was in the studio. You are from New Orleans. You hear him at the Pelicans games. You hear him at the Saints games. You've heard him on Q93, but he was right here in studio yesterday, and he has discovered the vegan lifestyle. So he said he's about 85-90% vegan. He does have his days where he'll taste stuff, or he'll do stuff like his cheat days. But generally speaking, he does a vegan lifestyle, and gave us a different point of view. It was really kind of interesting and cool. I don't know if I could probably get rid of the meat. We discussed, and we had a happy medium. I could be a pescatarian. I really could. I need the seafood and stuff.
I need the red meat.
She's like, I need the red meat. I get it. Like some people gotta do it.
That.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. So I have.
Yeah, you gotta have it. So we had fun conversation. We had Bobby Clark Alexander about being your individual you and finding your gift. So make sure you tune into those shows if you missed any of them. Let's go back live. good morning, and welcome back to The Good Life with me, Eileen. We are here on Gumbo Talk Thursday, and we're here to open your mind. We are living the good life right here on WBOK 1230 AM, opening minds to living differently in the world with love, compassion, tolerance, and understanding for ourselves and hopefully everyone else. We do that weekdays right here at 11 a.m. Make sure you tune in, get the WBOK app. You can catch us live. But if you ever miss a show, make sure you follow us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is The Good Life Radio Show Eileen Carter. The Good Life Radio Show Eileen Carter. Subscribe today. You never miss a show. And you can also get the shows if you follow me on Facebook Live. You can see what goes on right here in studio. And we also upload our shows to Spreaker.com. So if you follow us and you miss a show, you can catch it there as well. So make sure you follow us on all of our social media platforms at TGL Radio Show, because that's The Good Life. We are here with none other than me, Cindy Wynn. Good morning, Cindy.
Hey, good morning, you guys.
We are here on Gumbo Talk Thursday, and we are getting in the stew or the roux, whichever one you want to call it this morning. We've been discussing individualism this week. And Cindy, I was born in November 78, so the 70s, I wasn't really here for them. And you're young, too.
Yeah,
so you were a baby.
I was born 1970. Well, no, I was here in 1970, but I didn't come to America until 1975.
Well, then, yeah, so
I was still learning how to speak English.
You were still learning how to speak English. So you weren't really right.
No.
So
so I am very interested in this topic, right?
Yes. So we're going to ask him questions, and he is going to buku questions, and he is going to give us all of the good information. We have none other than the John Slade in the studio. He is the host of Up to Date weekdays at 12 p.m. right here on WBOK, and he lived through the 70s. He not only lived through them, he flourished. Right, John?
I have to say, John, you do look good.
You do.
You do.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, this conversation started, in the lobby at WBOK. We really should have a camera, John, Cindy. We have lots of interesting conversations. Very candid conversations.
Yeah.
So we were talking about, how the 70s people began to express themselves in their own individual self. I'm already getting very about this conversation. And, people were open with regard to their sexuality and how it blossomed, and it really changed how, Okay, John, I'm just
it's
No, tell me. I wasn't there. Tell me.
Well, it's a huge history. You got to remember, I'll go way back. The Depression, 1929.
Okay.
They called it the Black October. So the Depression went on from 1929 to roughly 1940, because we started getting into the war, and we started building things. So that actually war contracts kind of pulled us out of the Depression. But you couldn't buy anything. See, in the Depression, we were too poor to get stuff. Then when you had money at the defense plants, you couldn't buy anything, because in World War II, no cars, no consumer goods, no refrigerators, no radios, nothing. Because all that was being turned over to
nothing.
So you had, from 1929 to 1946, that's the balance of 2 decades. You have nothing. So you finally come out of World War II. You got money. If you might even be one of these lucky black people who had money. GI Bill, go to Tuskegee, go to Howard, get you. All that's happening. And manufacturing's blowing off the roof, and finally you can buy stuff. Then advertising starts happening even more so. You might remember this phrase a long time ago. Every advertising person knows it. You owe it to yourself.
I do. I've heard of it.
It's your turn. You need this because your life will be better for it. You. And now people are buying houses, Pontchartrain Park. Black people after World War II, we're getting houses too, refrigerators, televisions.
It's the good life.
We want that. And now, what else do I want? Maybe something called a better sex life. So sex started coming. 1958, I think, or 56. I forget which year. Playboy first comes out.
Oh, wow.
Yes. The first centerfold was a picture of Marilyn Monroe. So
that flew off the shelves, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, it did. So Hugh Hefner comes up with a consumerist hippie ideal. If you buy the stuff advertised in my magazine, cars, stereos, there was even plans in an old Playboy for a Playboy bachelor pad with all the consumer goods you would need to get the girl to give it up. Then the birth control
Sounds like
pill.
a how-to plan.
Yes, sir.
Look at Jasmine.
That's beautiful bachelor pad, fireplace. You can sit on it with your girl. The stereo,
And
play
the car.
And she
Coltrane.
looks just like the picture, right?
Coltrane is playing, because we love jazz in the late 50s. Jazz
Okay.
was hip. So, all this is going on, and people say, finally, I get to have what I want. Then they have children. You remember the baby boom,
Yes.
okay? Children had anything they wanted. So the parents wanted what they wanted, and they exhibited that to the children. So when people talk about the hippies, you made the hippies. You made.
See, y'all calling y'all talk about us, and y'all did it. You did it.
But they went through the Depression and the World War.
So they deserved a little something.
Oh, did they?
A little
Yes,
good life.
exactly. The boom was on. Cars, air conditioning, power steering, everything.
Power steering.
Get a new car every 5 years. See, if you look
That's true, right.
if you look at all the ancient old Perry Masons, you'll find he never rides around in a used car. Every season he got a new car. So if you just wait about a few weeks every day when it runs, he's got a new car. He never rides around in nothing broke down, nothing used, always a new car. And just
Good life.
exactly. So why not set with the invention of the birth control pill? It was on.
He was like, it's on. Birth
Yes.
control is on.
I don't have
Look
to worry
at
about
these babies.
I don't
Look
have
at
to worry
Janet.
about those
I'm just
Hey now.
pesky rubbers, The girls handling that now. We can roll out, So, and of course, rock and roll. Let's not forget rock and roll.
Right.
Chuck Berry. I consider him a huge inventor of rock and roll, even more so than Elvis, because Chuck Berry put the teenage angst. You want to go out, you want to get with your girl, you want to hit it, you want to have fun as a teenager, not just the beat, not just the stuff, but the teenage thing, which again raises this up. So the teenagers of 1958 are the hippies at Woodstock in 1969.
Parents' age. Ask them about this. They
But-
were born in the 40s.
Now, and then of course the
They were
sexual revolution takes place in the 60s, again because of the pill, and again because Playboy and its manifesto of that, yes, you can mess around, it's all right, you don't have to lose your status as a good girl next door because you get all excited, he let the boy hit it and quit it, because his mantra was that the women in Playboy had to look like the girl next door.
Really?
Wholesome girl next door. Exactly.
They also wasn't that one of the things like the girl next door look?
Exactly. He was kind of the purveyor of that. And of course, the bikini. You might remember the bikini.
So when did that come out?
Oh, that was in the early 60s.
Really?
Late 50s.
Late 50s.
Because it was named after the Bikini Atoll, which was used for atomic bomb tests after World War II.
really? Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
Yeah, so the bikini. So now women, see, if you look at old movies, you might see women in slim one-piece suits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe two pieces, but you can't hardly see anything. It's like it's just
Right,
a
that
sliver of
sliver.
skin.
Yeah.
But the bikini tore it up. You could see,
The
you could
bikini
see
tore it up.
the navel. You could get a
my
real,
God.
you could get a good gander of her rear end. You could see what she was really built like. And it was semi-controversial, particularly when they came out with the French cut, which was that was even
Down
that,
low.
oh yes,
Y'all
that-
were like,
yeah.
yes.
Now,
It was a man that made these things. I'm sure of it.
oh, most likely. I think it came from France, if I remember correctly. But if you look at the beach movies with Annette Funicello and Frankie Avalon, the other girls are wearing bikinis, but Annette Funicello had to wear a different kind of bikini. We couldn't see her navel. She was not allowed. No, Disney. She was lent out from the Disney studios to
Gotcha.
do that. And Disney said, "Oh no, she can't wear them. She can wear something else, but we
Right.
can't have." So she was again. You got that wholesome girl.
Yes.
And everything. And occasionally, those movies, black people could come in and entertain. Stevie Wonder was in a beach movie. You know.
Was he?
Yes, in two. He was in two of the beach movies. Yes, so I think one was Bikini Beach, and he was in it. Little Stevie Wonder. That's when he was little Stevie Wonder. You know. So all this is going on. I mean, the beach movies couldn't be made in the 40s because the girls were wearing too many. That was too skimpy. But it was happening now. The combination of rock and roll, let it all hang out. And again, The sexual revolution beginning in probably 1963, 64. The pill was now being prescribed. Women could control their fertility for the first time in modern history.
So that changed the game.
Oh yes, that was
Yes,
like
I was gonna say.
that was like an afterburner on a jet. That's what that was like. So all this is
Oh
going.
my
I gotta
gosh.
give you this whole history to
No, we
get to
needed
the
it,
point.
yeah.
To get to the point, and of course, let's not forget the civil rights movement, integration.
Okay.
Okay, so let me think.
I was about to say, how did that?
It was until 1968 you had, I think, the first black female in Playboy.
Really?
Yes, that was big.
How did that go over at that time? Like,
Well, my mother
being-
didn't like it. No,
He said
she-
his mother didn't like
No,
it.
there was actually, we didn't march for her to be naked with a bunch of white men looking at this thing, you know. And my father subscribed to Playboy. My father had a Playboy Club key card, which I still have.
Really?
Yes, it's gold and it's like a credit card, but it's made out of metal.
Oh.
It's made out
So,
of
wait, so
metal.
where could you use this card?
Well, here's the funny thing. We had a Playboy Club here in Louisiana, but in French Quarter. But Hugh Hefner had to close it because he didn't know it was segregated. He couldn't let black people in, even though they were members. So he had to like close it. Didn't work out.
Right.
They would not let black club card members in.
We were too.
No, they
south
wouldn't.
of them.
Exactly. So he had to close that down. He was shocked. I said, "What do you think was going on
Down here in the
yeah,
South?"
Yeah, you know, he didn't think New Orleans. New Orleans had a better reputation sometimes than it deserved as being a little bit more sophisticated than say backwoods Alabama.
Right.
you know.
But we were.
So now you have the invention, the summer of love, culminating with this. You had the counterculture, which started with beatniks.
What's that?
Okay. Sputnik went up in 1957. That was the Russian satellite that rocked the United States. The phrase in Sputnik meant fellow traveler. Well, beatnik was from the Beat Generation. Oh my God, I'm going all the way back to Jack Kerouac.
I don't know any of this.
So all of this, Jack Kerouac, one of the famous writers of the Beat Generation, he wrote On the Road and the Subterraneans, where he semi-autobiographically detailed a relationship with a black woman that he had. You know.
Really?
Yes,
John is full of all the good information.
Yes. So this is like going on. The beatniks, they would wear black. They would do the poetry. They started the poetry.
Oh, the
bongo.
snapping?
Yeah, the bongos. You know, like, well, man, like, cool, like, I feel.
Did you do that?
Yes, I
I
did
know
that.
you did. I know you did. I can see you doing that.
Well, see, again, the first counterculture character that was soon to be a hippie was on an ancient television show called The Many Loves of Dobie Gillis, about a high school kid who never had enough money to get the women he wanted. His best friend was Maynard G. Krebs, played by the guy that would do Gilligan on Gilligan's Island later, and he was a hippie. He loved Disney. He was a beatnik. That was the precursor to hippies. You beatnik. So he loved Coltrane. He loved Dizzy Gillespie. He was the closest thing to a hip cat on television ever at that time, you know. And that would become your hippies. They were like, counterculture meant we don't like what our parents have done. We don't like what they love, the consumerist society, wrapped up food and all that. I said, no, man, it's just not what. Of course, they could say that because they came from that well-fed. And
Right.
so,
Right.
see, when you're rich, you can say, I hate being rich.
Right.
Money is destroying my soul.
Oh my God.
You know, you can
Right.
talk like that. You know, so that was, he would turn into the hippies, and they would be the counterculture. And the hippies went to Haight-Ashbury in San Francisco, and that was the mecca for the hippies. Grass, drugs, mind expand. In fact, LSD was very much experimented with.
Really?
You know, it wasn't considered a bad thing at first. Some of the movie
So how was
stars,
that
rich
walking
people.
around?
Oh yeah. So this is going on, and the counterculture came, and in 1967 came the Summer of Love, free love.
Okay, well, you're
That
gonna.
with the pill, now we get the free love. We just gonna make love, Eileen.
Well,
It's
see,
just
but
gonna
you
be
have
like
to-
that.
But you have to take.
I just
you
come
gotta
up
hold
to
on.
you. I come and hold your hand,
What?
baby. What's happening? Like
Oh,
you
Lord
are
have
the
mercy.
coolest chick I've ever
It's getting
seen.
heated in here.
Oh, I'm
Well,
telling
you know what? You
That's
got-
what they would do. I mean, if you was a hippie chick, you'd have to like.
Well, guess what? they have to stay tuned to find out about the Summer of Love, because we have to take a quick break. We are here on Gumbo Talk Thursday, and y'all never thought we were going to get in this kind of stew. This is a stew. I know this is bringing up a lot of memories for a lot of you out there. You know, Cindy and I were very young in the 70s.
I am just amazed.
Exactly. Well, we're going to find out exactly what went on.
So shocked to find out history was happening before you came along.
Yes!
Right.
Talking about individualist expressions,
yes.
We're about to find out when we get back from
Absolutely.
this break. It's the Good Life, y'all. We are here with our special guest, John Slade. We'll be right back.
I am like just blown.